What is the purpose of your life? Have you ever paused amidst the whirlwind of your daily routine to wonder why you are here? It's said that over 75% of people globally admit to feeling aimless at some point in their lives. That's a startling fact when you think about it. How is it that so many of us wake up each day without truly knowing why? But what if I told you that you are not here by accident, that your existence has a divine blueprint? And what if discovering your purpose isn't as complicated as it seems? Imagine standing in a vast library with millions of books, each one holding a story, some tragic, some triumphant, some mundane. Somewhere in that sea of stories is the book of your life. What would it say on the first page? Lost and searching, or living with bold purpose? Let's dive into this together, and by the end, I promise you will have clarity and courage to pursue the purpose for which you were created. There's a true story about Florence Chadwick, the first woman to swim the English Channel both ways. On one foggy day in 1952, she attempted to swim 26 miles between the California coast and Catalina Island. The conditions were brutal. The water was icy, and she couldn't see her goal due to dense fog. Exhausted and discouraged, she asked to be pulled out of the water, only to discover that she was less than a mile away from the shore. In an interview afterward, she said, "I'm not excusing myself, but if I could have seen the land, I might have made it." Doesn't that resonate with how life feels sometimes? We're swimming through murky waters, struggling to move forward because we can't see the land of purpose ahead. We want to quit because the fog of doubt or disappointment blinds us. But what if you could see your destination clearly? Proverbs 29:18 reminds us, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." Having a purpose, a God-given purpose, provides that vision. Now, let me share a light-hearted example from the Bible to illuminate this point. Picture Jonah, the prophet who literally tried to run away from God's purpose for his life. God told Jonah to go to Nineveh and preach, but Jonah decided he had better plans. Hop on a ship and head in the opposite direction. Enter the storm, the panicked sailors, and the infamous giant fish. Jonah 1:17 tells us, "Now the Lord had prepared a great fish to swallow Jonah." Can you imagine Jonah inside that fish, sitting in darkness and realizing, well, this isn't exactly the escape I had in mind? Sometimes God's purpose will chase us down, even in the most unexpected ways. And then there's Moses, who doubted his ability to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. Exodus 3:11 captures his hesitation. "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" It's almost comedic to think about Moses, a shepherd with a speech impediment, being asked to confront the most powerful ruler of his time. But God's reply was simple and profound. "I will be with you." Exodus 3:12. That's the heart of discovering your purpose. It's not about what you can do alone, but what God can do through you. Let's pause here for a moment and reflect. What excuses have you been giving God? "I'm too busy. I'm not talented enough. I'm afraid of failing." Here's the twist. The very thing you think disqualifies you may be the thing God uses to qualify you. Gideon, hiding in a winepress, thought he was too weak to lead Israel, yet God called him a mighty warrior, Judges 6:12. David, the overlooked shepherd boy, was anointed as king. Time and again, God chooses the unlikely, the flawed, and the fearful to fulfill his purpose. Now, let's get personal. Imagine waking up tomorrow with a renewed sense of purpose. Picture yourself walking confidently, knowing that your steps are aligned with God's plan. What would that feel like? Warm sunlight pouring over your face as if heaven itself is smiling down on you. The air around you buzzing with excitement, every breath filled with meaning. Here's another true story. William Wilberforce, a British politician in the 18th century, felt a divine call to end the transatlantic slave trade. It wasn't easy. He faced intense opposition, ridicule, and years of failure. But he persevered, fueled by his unwavering belief that this was his God-given purpose. After decades of effort, the Slave Trade Act was passed in 1807, abolishing the slave trade in the British Empire. Wilberforce's life is a testament to what can happen when someone refuses to let go of their God-given purpose, no matter the obstacles. So, what does this mean for you? First, recognize that your purpose is not about personal ambition or achieving worldly success. It's about serving others and glorifying God. Matthew 5:16 says, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Whether your purpose involves raising a family, mentoring someone, starting a business, or preaching the gospel, it's about making an eternal impact. Second, embrace the process. Purpose isn't always revealed in a single dramatic moment. It often unfolds gradually, like a Polaroid picture coming into focus. Joseph's purpose, for example, wasn't immediately clear when he was sold into slavery or thrown into prison. But by the time he became Pharaoh's right-hand man, he could look back and say, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." Genesis 50:20. And finally, step out in faith. Purpose requires action. Imagine Peter stepping out of the boat to walk on water. The storm was raging and logic screamed, "Stay put." But Peter focused on Jesus and took the first step. Similarly, you don't have to have it all figured out. Just take the next step in faith. Now, let me challenge you. This week, take 30 minutes to sit quietly and ask God to reveal or reaffirm your purpose. Write down what comes to mind, no matter how small or insignificant it seems. Then, share it with someone you trust and take one concrete step toward living it out. Maybe that step is signing up to volunteer, starting a conversation, or simply praying for courage. Here's the revelation. You were created on purpose for a purpose. Ephesians 2:10 declares, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." You are not a random accident. Your life is a divine masterpiece in progress. As we conclude, I want to leave you with this powerful image. Picture God as an artist standing before a massive canvas. Every brushstroke represents a moment in your life, some dark, some bright, all essential to the masterpiece. Right now, you may only see the messy, unfinished parts, but one day you'll step back and see the breathtaking beauty of the whole picture. So, what will you do with the time you've been given? Will you continue to drift aimlessly, or will you embrace the purpose for which you were created? The choice is yours. But remember, living with purpose is not just a gift to yourself. It's a gift to the world and a way to glorify the one who made you. Take that first step. Like, share, and subscribe to this message if it resonated with you. Let's spread the light of purpose to a world in need.